Om Sadashivasamaramabham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, so we are now in the 18th chapter.
You have to start up to 9. You are done. You have to start with 9, 10.
10. Okay. Okay, any questions or clarifications on the, especially on the 3 types of tyaga? Okay, any tyaga out of delusion is tamasic, out of fear of troubles, etc., is rajasic, and karma yoga he presents as sattvic tyaga. Okay. Because that is what leads to sannyasa. Okay, all that we saw elaborately. Any questions or shall we go ahead?
Maharaj, I have a question on your Guru Purnima talk. Can I ask?
Okay, shoot, ask.
Okay. So, in that talk, you told that a non-traditional teacher of Vedanta will end you up in like dissociation. He will say like you are not the body, you are not the body, and so on.
Yeah.
And a sampradaya with Guru will tell you like you are not the body, but the body is dependent on you for its existence.
Exactly.
And you gave the example of like banana which Swamiji used.
Because
can you do that a little bit?
Yeah, it's important to understand that what is negated. When you are saying I have negated the body, etc., what is negated is your taking the body as yourself.
Okay, understood.
See, the body is a experiential reality.
Right.
At the same time, in spite of being an experiential reality, or you can say because it's an experiential reality, it is not absolute. It's only experiential.
Correct.
Therefore, to recognize the Atma, you need to recognize the Atma as distinct from the body, mind, etc.
Right.
But to understand that the Atma is everything, you have to understand that the body, mind, etc. are manifestations of the Atma. So that is the trick here. Whereas if you read books, there are some very good books available for arriving at the independent Atma, like Eckhart Tolle, etc. They all will say, I am not the body, I am not this, I am not. Yeah, but then after that you have to take the body back for your functioning. No?
Right.
You are not going to be sitting in samadhi until yearns come. You are going to live a life, you have to do things.
Right.
Yeah. So because of that, you have to understand that Satyam Mithya. That I am Satyam, everything else is Mithya. So that Mithyatvam means what? Anything that you call Mithya will be dependent on another reality. Pot on clay, wave on water, gold ornaments on gold. So you have to functionally. We are talking about functionally real things. Whereas somebody who is asampradayit for Mithya will depend only on rope snake. Which is illusory.
Right.
Then the student will always wonder, how come the world is an illusion? Because the world is not an illusion. It's a delusion to think world is an illusion. Because world is functionally valid. The pot is functionally valid, but it's Mithya because it's dependent on clay. The kurta functionally valid. Yeah. Imagine traveling in Bombay public transport, wearing an angavastram, only cloth. Yeah. You will be getting out of the train and the cloth will be left behind inside the train. So the kurta has a functional validity. But it's Mithya because it doesn't exist independent of the cloth.
Right.
So like this, to understand that the whole world doesn't exist independent of existence awareness.
Correct.
That unfolding is what makes a Sampradaya Guru work like this.
in this regard, I have one more question.
Yeah.
So in that talk itself, you said like we give it to the body whenever it asks anything, and therefore like in your Mahavakya Vichara also you say similar.
No, not that Mahavakya Vichara is not connected with that. It says, why is it difficult for us to see ourselves as independent of the body and body dependent on us?
Right.
That is because in our functioning life, we are giving into the body too much.
Right.
Whatever the body demands, we are Sukhajivis. Whatever the body demands, we agree with and give it. So what happens is, I think I am dependent on this body.
Right.
Even if I hear a bit of Vedanta, I will not understand I am independent. Because whatever the body demands, Arey, fan is too fast, slow it down. Too slow, speed it up. Arey, rehne do na, class ka baad dekho. No. Yeah. Feeling thirsty, okay. Huh?
At the same time, it does not imply that we will have full control over the body.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Okay.
Because really speaking, Atma has no control.
Right.
The one who has the control is the Jiva.
Right.
The manifested I. The I that is manifest in the mind. That is what tries to control. Your conceptual self. And your conceptual self will never have total control over anything. Over anything. It can't have.
So basically you only meant like have a tough mind,
Yeah.
strong body.
Exactly.
And like don't unnecessarily
Yeah.
listen to all the demands of the body or the mind. Yeah.
That's why that discipline life, etc. becomes important.
Yes.
That's why playing a sport teaches you that. You know? Because we think sportsmen are not intelligent. They are in their own way. They have a different type of intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay? They may not be able to solve an advanced calculus paper. But they have other types of intelligence. They will use practical applications of angles, this, that, etc. very nicely. You know? And the discipline in their diet, in their food, in their way they behave, the way they ensure they get their rest, all that is a highly disciplined life.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's a different type of intelligence at work. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. This was my doubt.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Then he sums up. How will a sannyasi look at karma? Or a wise person look at karma? Remember, whenever you say sannyasi in this context will mean someone who has that wisdom. Okay? Jnanena karma sannyasaha. That person. Alright. He'll say, Na dveshti akushalam karma kushilena anushajjate tyagi sattva samavishtaha medhavi chinna samshaya. Na dveshti akushalam karma. Here karma means karma phalam. Akushalam. It is nothing great. इतना काम किया लेकिन कुछ फायदा नहीं हो गया. न द्वेष्टि. ठीक है, you win some, you lose some. It's always like that. You win some, you lose some, so it's all right. Prasada buddhya, you accept it. न द्वेष्टि अकुशलम कर्म. कुशलेन अनुसज्जते. Hey, बहुत फल मिला. Small effort and what result I got. न अनुसज्जते. He doesn't get emotionally dependent on that for his happiness. He's happy with it. True. Yeah. Not that he's unhappy because things worked out well. Okay. Only an idiot will be unhappy if things don't work. If things work out well. Okay. But na anushajjate. He is not caught up in that. Then what is he? Tyagi sattva samavishtaha. Okay. Okay. Tyagi. Who sattva samavishtaha. Overcome by that sattva, by that knowledge, by the mastered mind. Okay, sattva samavishtaha. Therefore, sattva samavishtaha we can take as knowledge. Atma jnanena. Okay. Medhavi. He remembers it in every function. It is not that knowledge comes when he thinks about it, he knows the truth. Otherwise, it's gone. No, it is there in and through all aspects of life. It is there. Chinna samshaya, free from all doubts. Therefore, na dveshti, na kankshati iti. Na dveshti. Things didn't work out, it's okay, didn't work out. I am already Ananda. So Ananda is going through a miserable experience. Ananda doesn't change, experience changes. Ananda is going to get into a happy experience. Good. Ananda doesn't change, experience is happy. To learn to see that you are really speaking independent of experiential joys and sorrows. At the most, it affects your mind. At the most, not more than that. That's why people say, no, here I know, but here I can't accept. That's because a little bit mind and your reasoning is not integrated well. What you know and your emotional life is not completely integrated. And that happens to all of us. Because we don't, we are human beings, Baba. We don't always live by what we know, do we? Yeah. We don't always learn. It's rainy season, street food is not healthy. No, but my Bhelpuri wala, he is very hygienic. Why he uses Bisleri water to make chutney or what? Have you ever wondered why sometimes there is extra salt? I don't even want to go into that direction. Okay. Yeah. So, we know about hygiene, but we don't live by it. Okay. So, we all make our compromises, speaker included, okay. Swamiji, what street food do you take? Vada pav. It's close. I am not very fond of the vada. I take a bhaji pav. Then what compromise do you make? Oh, I play it safe. I'll say don't put chutney in it because that is the dangerous stuff. But it's a compromise still, isn't it? When you say street food can be infected, even though the bhaji is hot and fresh, it still could be infected. Yeah. So, since we all make our compromises, that much our harmony with what we know is lacking. The white lies that we tell. And we are living in a society, sometimes you do have to tell a white lie. I am not talking about the whoppers you say in your income tax certificate. Okay. Your tax returns. I am talking about simple things. Yeah. Because life is about shades of grey. You can't avoid that. In fact, a truly dharmic person knows how to handle the grey. That's what makes the person really dharmic. So, at the same time, you can't avoid it causing a little bit of a gap between what you know and what you feel and what you do. You can't avoid that. Even if you are basically honest, integrated, etc., these small things will be there. Therefore, for it to float through takes a little time. The knowledge to flow through in your life takes a little bit time. You need to integrate the knowledge into your emotional life. Then you are a Medhavi. You remember it even in your emotional living. Yeah. How do you do that? Do a lot of contemplation, that will work. The contemplation that I taught in the classes, etc., that's enough to make it work. Yeah. That will make it work. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, why can't we just, this karma is a headache, why can't we just forget it and just live for knowledge? Why can't we do that? If you are ready, you can, but he strikes a caution here. Krishna always strikes a caution on these matters. Nahi deha britam shakyam tyaktum karmani asheshatah yastu karma phalatyagi satyagi iti abhidiyate. Deha britam, the one who is identified with the body, the one who wields the body, literally, but here you have to take it as one who is identified with the body. The one who is identified with the body. Okay. that person, okay, na shakyam karmani asheshatah tyaktum. If you all have noticed, I have two very young students attending the class. Huh? Yeah. So, asheshatah, completely, they cannot give up actions. Why? Your body identification is there. How can you give it up? Okay. Therefore, now how can you? How do you know your body identification is there or not? समझिए, my body identification not there. I don't bother much about the body. थोड़ा 5 किलो डाला तो क्या फर्क पड़ा? कुछ फर्क नहीं. 5 kilos less, not no. Yeah, but you are identified to other things. Okay, what is that? I want to go and enjoy a meal here. I want to be a parent. All that is physical and emotional identification. I want to be successful in my career. So now from the body you have stepped onto the role. Nothing wrong in it, it is good. But it shows the body identification is there, role identification is also there. Yeah. Role identification is also there. Can't avoid it. If body identification is there, role identification will be there. And if role identification is there, you can't say body identification is not there. Because without identifying with the body, you cannot identify with the role. Yeah. Therefore, it's strong. Therefore, deha brutam. See, now here is the question. Everyone has to identify with the body. If I have to teach here, unless I have identified with the body, and identifying with the laptop also, because through that I am seeing people, watching them, etc. Okay, how can you teach? The question is, are you treating it just as an instrument that you are using for functioning, or is the thing that it is me very strong? That it is me becomes very strong. If it's an instrument, it's an instrument. Yeah, you don't want anybody to take away your instrument, your car. So why should you want anybody else to use your body? No, you don't want it. That much is fair enough. Yeah, but are you looking at your body as an instrument or it is me? Even though I say mine sometimes, because of certain experiences where you cannot avoid that my experience, is still your basic identification is me. Yeah. That's why even when you go for why is this vaccine hesitancy? For example, vaccination hai ya, le lo. No, if something happens like this, like that. What will happen with the infection is worse. But again, body identification is strong. You can give all sorts of intellectual arguments for it. Okay? You can cite statistics of people having problems after vaccination. But simple, one of the most important reason is the body identification is there. You can't avoid that. Yeah, can't avoid that. Yeah, that is strong in you. Therefore, deha bratam, you cannot give up all your actions. Because the body identification will push you to do things. You want to be comfortable, you want to be there, you want to plan for retirement. All that is correct and right also. It's a pragmatic way of living. I am not saying no to that. Yeah. Like I am counseling a couple. They are not from Bombay, a couple. And the man has reached a stage where somebody comes and says, hey, Your watch is nice here. I wish I had something like that. Here, he'll take it and give it. Yeah. Yeah, he's not attached. He's reached the stage where he's not attached. They're financially secure and everything, but he's not. Doesn't have too much of attachment to these things. But the wife is. Say, how can you just give a watch away? It is costly, just because somebody liked it. So I have to tell him, yeah. Especially if she has gifted it to you, never give it away. Correct, no? Because there's an emotional component. But that emotional component, yes, I have to teach him that in a relationship. But the fact remains that what you call as an emotional component and love, etc., is also coming from body identification. She has not been able to see the mithyatvam of it. It is there. Nobody denies that. It is there. But the mithyatvam of it, can you see that? Swamiji, when people come and ask you for a Rudraksha mala, you always get something for them and you gift it to them also. But I never seen you give away this. Correct? This will be given away only with my samadhi. Why you are attached to it so much? This is an inspiration. My guru gave it to me when I first surrendered to him. So it's purely emotional, isn't it? But can you see the mithyatvam of it? Of course. Of course it is mithya. I am not keeping it in a puja corner safe where nobody will ask for it. I am wearing it, using it. It has got nicely polished with all the japa I have done. 76 onwards I have been using it, so naturally it will get polished. No? Are you getting the idea? To care for things, to see that. At the same time see the mithyatvam of it. That takes something. That is where knowledge comes into the picture. Otherwise, he says here, yastu karma phala tyagi sa tyagi iti abhidiyate. Therefore, the karma phala tyagi is what is called as tyagi. Karma phala tyagi is a karma yogi. Remember this. There is no giving up. It is as though giving up. It is not to be taken as literally giving up. And it is talked about as tyaga because you are willing to accept success and failure of your desire. Of the karma that you are doing, you want success, you are working for success. Nobody works for failure, okay? If you are going to work for failure, better stop doing it. It's useless, waste of time. So you want success, you are working for it. At the same time, you are willing to accept the good, the bad, the ugly. Success or failure, what? You get what you want, you don't get what you want, you are willing to accept it. If you are willing to accept, is as good as giving it up. Why you are willing to accept failure here? You are willing to accept failure, that means you are as good as giving it up. Therefore, you are called karma phala tyagi. So, tyagi means karma yogi. Now, get this in your mind, okay? Form this association. Whenever you hear the word tyagi, etc., generally the meaning is karma yogi. So, then it works well, okay? Therefore, he is such a person is called a tyagi. So, the tyagi can gain the knowledge. The tyagi can take sannyasa if he wants to. Okay. Sannyasa is optional. Tyaga is not. Karma yoga is not optional. Okay. That's the only way to live, to grow. Okay. But Swamiji, there are other ways of mastering the mind. There are. I am exploring a system now, In Tibet and China and all, they call it martial qigong. In India, it's part of hatha yoga. Want to try? You can explore. I am exploring. Sadhu hai, kya kaam karna? Kuch kaam dhanda nahi hai na? I explore different systems. So when I talk about what works and what doesn't work, it comes from the authority of my own validation. Yeah, you can prepare your mind very well in it. Oh my God, it is not easy. Not easy. If anyone wants the taste of it, I will show in the camp that we are going to have it in August. And we can have one session on that, and I'll show you how easy or how difficult it is. Yeah. You say, no, I'll go back to being a karma yogi. Honestly, I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah. Because I experimented with something today. Is it working? Of course it is working. How do you know? I got a very bad headache. So now I know it's working. All my energy centers in the back of the head and the head is opening up. My spondylitis, which I had because of an old injury, is getting corrected. So when it's getting corrected, there will be a lot of pain. So you're in pain now? Pain hai na. How come you're taking a class? I'm independent of the body. Body is dependent on me. Remember that? Yeah. So what is the problem? Yeah. I'm not the type of person who will say, not tonight, dear, I have a headache. Okay. Though in my case, he'll be taking a class, okay, not anything else. And if that statement is made by your partner, you have to understand it as a Lakshana Vakya. Okay, not direct statement. Now, I don't want to go into all that. That will be in a relationship workshop. Okay. All right. Therefore, so Tyagi iti. Therefore, other systems are there, not that it is not there. Because remember, it is mastery of the mind. If it is mastery of the mind, there are different ways of doing it. Why? Because it's a finite thing. Mind mastery is a finite goal. You gain by doing certain things in time and space. Therefore, if there are 100 different ways of doing it. 100 different ways of doing it. Yeah. Including in a game which I personally find a bit boring, like a test cricket. You think someone like Sachin Tendulkar doesn't have a mastered mind? The discipline, the focus and the dharana. Yeah. And the days when he is contemplative, when he is doing it, he himself has said that. Today the ball was looking like a football. It was so easy to hit it. Yeah, that's when your mind becomes more contemplative. When your mind is contemplative, time slows down. The ball which takes a second or two to reach you seems to take, arey, bahut time hai. It's taking so long to reach you. You feel the same thing with a punch coming at you. Split second. Split second, lot of time. Yeah. You will feel as though the whole thing is being played in slow motion. So that's another mastery of the mind. So mind can be mastered in 100 different ways. Your bhakti will master it, emotion. Yeah. Lot of vichara will master it, purely intellectual approach. You think, you discipline, you this thing, you change the direction of your thinking, change the direction of your feeling. You can. Karma yoga is easy. Why? You get what you want also as part of the process. At least most of what you want. You grow out of your desires also very comfortably. Therefore, if you really look at it, Karma yoga is one of the easiest paths to do. It takes some time, yeah. It takes some time. You will finally, arey, it is true. My mind, now it's all fine. Then you look in the mirror. Arey yaar, baal thora pag gaya. Idhar udhar grey hairs have started coming. This is coming. It has taken some time. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Anyway, the mind has to be mastered. Yeah. You think Hatha Yogins will master the mind? All that they do very well. Then now he feels great. I have met people like this in Rishikesh. He was sitting in Gangotri and doing tapas. This Gangotri, even living is, why Rishikesh living is a tapas? Gangotri is 10 times as that. Yeah. For that 4 winter months, no? It's under 6 feet, 8 feet of snow. If you want drinking water, you have to melt the snow and drink it. Those days, sadhus who stay there will make dal at the beginning of winter around Diwali time and keep that whole dakkan outside. What do you call that? The kadachi or whatever, the huge vessel, they will keep it outside. It will freeze up. Then they will empty it into a sack and keep it. Because it has to last the whole winter month. No? They will stock up on firewood. And day and night a small fire will be burning. So they will take a piece of that dal and some snow, mix it up, heat it up, dal ho gaya. So this guy was living in there and doing tapas on top of it. Great place to do tapas. All these headaches, etc. will not be there if you are doing it in such a cold place. Then he comes back to Rishikesh. And I saw him. I knew he was doing it there. I had met him there. He said, Om Namo Narayana Swamiji. And he got angry. Maharaj kyun ne bola? Calling him Swamiji was not enough. I had to call him Maharaj. Okay. He didn't feel respected enough. So अभी मास्टरी का क्या हो गया? I mean, he addressed you with respect. He was not disrespectful to you. But what happened to that master? So that is what Karma Yoga takes care of, because all these dimensions are taken care of. Because you are living in society. Then you are ready to be away from society if you need to. So there is no real need, but you can do. Okay, yeah. All right. Then he says, Tyagi iti abhidhiyate, he had said. Then he goes further to say, Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividham karmana phalam bhavati atyaginam pretya natu sannyasinam kvachat. Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividham karmanam phalam. Three types of karma phalam. Ishtam, what is desirable for you. Yeah. Anishtam, not is not desirable. Ishtam, what is desirable? Hare yaar, this is exactly what I want. Mishram is a mixed bag. Okay, he says, Trividham karmana phalam bhavanti atyaginam pretya, on death. Apretya bhavati. Yeah. After death it comes to you. Now we are talking about punya papa. Ishtam, anishtam, mishram. We are talking about mishra phalam. Okay. Mishram means we are talking about karma phalam, sorry. Anishtam will be your papa karmas. Because we are human beings, we have done wrong things in life also. Ishtam, punya phalam. That will give you, what is papa? Papa is that which will give you difficulties, suffering. You know, people say, or go to an astrologer. Generally, you go to an astrologer only when things are not working out. Things are working out, why should you go to an astrologer? Things are working out, why should you go to a doctor? Same way. That's why your friends will ask you, if you are not unhappy, why are you going to a spiritual class? Okay. Because there is a thinking. You go to, he says, Sade Sati hai. Saturn is causing all these problems in your life. Maybe Shanishwara ko aur kuch kaam dhanda nahi hai except cause problems in my life. It is my own karma phala. The possession of Shani is revealing that. Sade Sati hai, thoda intense ho jayega. That's all. Therefore, papa karmas give you pain, sufferings. Punya karma will give you pleasure, experiential happiness and joy. Mishram will give you human life. So Anishtam will go to lower life forms. Ishtam will go to higher life forms where the pleasures are better enjoyed. Mishram will give you human life. Because either here you get both pleasure and pain. Kabhi khushi, kabhi gam. That's what human life is about. You get that. Bhavanti atyaginam. The one who is not a tyagi, he gets it. Yeah. Natu sannyasinam kvachat. Not for the sannyasis, he says. Wife, not for the sannyasis, because the sannyasi is rooted in the knowledge. Remember, jnana lakshana sannyasa we are talking about. You become a tyagi, and from tyagi you go and gain this knowledge. Therefore, jnana lakshana sannyasa. That person is free. He has understood he is nothing but ananda. That's a fact of his life. Therefore, after death, what happens? There is no place to go, no dimension to go. You are there in all dimensions. You have the limitless awareness. As you sit here, you sit in every dimension in the universe. Wow. Therefore, where is anishtam, ishtam, etc. for you? You are remaining as pure consciousness, untouched by anything. You are nothing but ananda. Therefore, you are fine. Yeah. But if you are not a tyagi, meaning you don't have that mastered mind, you have not gained moksha, then naturally you will have to take punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Again birth, again death, again being in the womb. Then what will you say? Yo samsare bahu dustare kripaya pahe pahi murare. You have to pray to Ishvara, oh God, save me, save me. And the Lord is thinking, idiot साला, इसको गुरु भी भेजा था, फिर भी कुछ काम नहीं किया ये. Yeah. What can the Lord do beyond that? Why? Because that moksha thing is has to be your choice. In fact, there is a statement in the Upanishad, you will see that later. He says, the Atma is na bahuda shrutena, it is not gained by this, it is not gained by intellectual activity, it is not gained, all the thing it says, though all those are helpful for gaining the knowledge. But he says all that, na medhaya, na bahuda shrutena, etc. it says. Then he makes highlights. What is that? Yam mesha vranate tena labhyaha. Who chooses it gets it. You have to make an active, positive choice for gaining moksha. You have to make the choice. Ishvara doesn't make that choice. You are not a chosen one. There is no chosen ones. Okay. Chosen ones are the one who choose to gain moksha. The choice is in your hands, not Ishvara's hands. Because there are groups of people who think we are the chosen one. We are superior to everyone else. Nothing like that. You choose. You choose. You make that choice. Then you will do what is necessary. I mean, you have taken the first step at least. Therefore, if you are a tyagi, you can gain this knowledge. If you are a karma yogi, you can gain this knowledge and be free. You remain as ananda, always ananda. And knew the world has a dance. Maja aata hai. You are ananda all the time. Living, whether the experiences are joyful or miserable. Why? You mean to say a wise person doesn't get miserable experiences? Remember, he was a karta bhokta before he gained knowledge. Therefore, karma phala, like anybody else, he has also done. Billions of birth and death he has had. Therefore, that guy also has done papa karmas. Yeah. Therefore, miserable experiences will come to him. The only difference is Ananda going through a miserable experience. No problems. If Ananda is going through a miserable experience, absolutely no problem. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay. Okay, therefore, na sannyasinam kvachat. Okay. Okay. Now, we are talking about, now he is talking about what is responsible for karma from the Sankhya paradigm. Okay. But Sankhya and Vedanta were very close, certain areas are overlapping. Okay. From there he is talking about the few things as necessary for karma, etc. Why? Because then you will understand clearly that you are not the karta. You are not the karta. All these are the karta. Please, for heaven's sake, just because you hear Vedanta, don't say, I am not the karta, God is the karta. That's the worst thing anyone can say. I've seen many Vedantins saying that. Yeah. Because you are transferring your responsibility to God. If you take yourself that, if you want that karma phalam, go by that. If you want the karma phalam, then you are karta, all right. Accept the responsibility, accept accountability, do what has to be done. Yeah. Therefore, there is where the whole thing comes. Whereas, if you are akarta abhokta, you understand that. Yeah, because I make all these things sentient, karma is happening. My manifested consciousness is doing the karma. The ahankara is doing the karma, not me. Not Ishvara is doing. Ishvara is never doing it. Ishvara is the total akarta abhokta. That's the symbolism behind showing Vishnu as Ananta Shayanam. Why? Because Vishnu is supposed to be the sustainer of the creation. As a sustainer of the creation, he has to do a lot of stuff. No? You all know, to maintain a family, what all you have to do. Forget family, even if you are a single person living in your house, you know how to, what all you have to do to make it okay. Ship shape. But Vishnu showed lying down, relaxed. Kya hone de. Why? Akarta bhokta, it happens. He has fed the infrastructure keeps everything going. The order keeps things going. Yeah. Ultimate empowerment. Choice given to the human beings. Go, make your life or mess it up as you want it. Yeah. Total freedom given. Okay. Then he says, Panchetani mahabaho karanani nimodame sankhe kritante proktani siddhe sarva karmanam. Hey mahabhavo, mighty armed Arjuna, nibodame, from me understand this. Panchetani karanani. These 5 things. Sankhe proktani. Sankhya Prokta. In the knowledge section. Where Sankhya? Kritante. At the end of all actions, etc. Okay? End of the Veda. The Veda that talks about the highest action possible. In that, okay, we are talking about it. It talks about it. What is that? Siddhaye sarva karmana. These 5 things are necessary for every karma. Okay. What are those 5 things? Okay. Adhishtanam tata karta. Karanam cha pratak vidam vividhascha pratak cheshtaha devam chaivatra panchamam. Simple it says. Adhishtanam, the base for karma. What is the base for karma? Your body. Because without body, what karma are you going to do? In this dimension of existence. Okay? Okay. So this body. This body, adhisthana. Tatha karta, the ahankara, the sense of doership, the one who is identified with the body and mind, who says, I am this much only, your conceptual self. What you think about who you are. You know, you ask each other, who do you think you are? Ask yourself that. Who do you think you are? You will have an opinion about yourself. That is your ahankara. Remember, I don't know, the older generation may remember, Peter Sellers, the party. Who do you think you are? Sir, in India, we don't think who we are. We know who we are. That's a great spoof. Not that all Indians know themselves, otherwise I would have to teach you. Okay. Therefore, karta, karanam means instruments. Your sense organs, etc. Okay, or means of action, your hands, legs, etc. Your karmendriyas, hands, legs, etc. All pruthak vidam, they are all distinct entities. Okay, vividha pruthak cheshta, and various types of activities. No, cheshta. You have to see, you have to look, you have to do, you have to act. That is all called cheshta. And that's cheshta. Devam chevatra panchamakamam. This is a beautiful idea brought in. Devam, the presiding deities of all the organs, etc. Why? By saying presiding deities, he is bringing in Ishvara's order. Because if you look at our traditional thinking, every sense organ has a presiding deity. Now, what is a presiding deity? Your eyes are sentient. So, what is the total? And eyes are sentient. Why is it sentient? Because the awareness, consciousness is manifest there. No? Through the mind is manifest. If it is not manifest, you will not be sentient. If your mind is elsewhere, you will not see. How many of us have had that experience? You are sitting lost in thought somewhere, eyes are open, but you are lost in thought. Your friend comes and waves in front of you. Okay. We all had that experience sometime or the other. And they'll ask you, khayalo mein kya? No. You are in some la la land, some fantasy world. Okay. Yeah. So, this eyes are sentient because consciousness is backing up. Mind is backing it up and the consciousness is backing up the mind. So now imagine the total power of sight in the cosmos across 14 dimensions. That becomes the presiding deity of sight. Surya. Not the sun. Surya doesn't mean the sun that you see. Today we saw it after quite a long gap in Bombay. For 5 days there was all rain, clouds, etc. Not seeing the sun. Today we saw it. Thoda sa, acha. So, not this sun. Surya as Devata we are talking about. Which is a presiding deity for your eyes. Ashwini Kumara for your sense of smell. Indra for your hands. Like this, each as a deity. When you say deity means what? It represents the whole order of creation. This is the order that makes creation work. Innate order of Ishvara. Through the power of sight, through the action, all this is possible because the deities are there. It is all this possible because of Ishvara's order. But Ishvara's order is conceived as deities. Because you are looking at Ishvara as a functionary because of which your functions are possible. Jataragni for your digestive power. Yeah. Ishvara is invoked as prana for your breathing, for staying alive. So, prana makes life possible. Yeah. So, in all this, when you say Daivam, this is what you mean. In short, you can skip the whole thing and go directly to Ishvara and say, is Ishvara's order at work? I mean, look at it. Look at the placement of the earth in the solar system. If it is a little bit closer to the sun, we will all get fried. There will be no life on earth. If it is a little bit further away, everything gets frozen up. No life on earth. Just the perfect thing. There is an order, there is an intelligence at work there. Random choice is not a very intelligent way of presenting it. Yeah. Because after random choice, if it is really random, you can't study it. But you study it through systems like statistics. That means what? There is a certain pattern there. It is not that random. Random should not have any pattern. Correct? Only then it can be truly called random. But if you can study it, that means you are studying patterns. If you are studying patterns, then there is intelligence manifest there. That means there is intelligence behind it. That what intelligence behind it is Ishvara. Therefore, Devam is involved in everything that you do. Time and space is taken as granted. Why? Because Devam includes time and space. Your Dik Devatas, Mahakalaha. Time and space comes into the picture. Mahakala for time, because Shiva is invoked as Mahakala also. We saw in the 11th chapter, Krishna saying, Kalosmi, and right now I am manifest as time, devouring up the worlds. So Kala. Dik Devata for space. Yeah. So by that, everything is covered. So these 5 things ensure that karma is possible. If this is possible, where are you in the picture, tell me? You as consciousness, where do you come here? In karma. Kidhar hai? Karta is there, ahankara, manifestation, your notion about yourself. That's not the real you anyway. That's ahankara. And that ahankara is associated with this body, therefore your hands and legs can function. That and their cheshta, etc. is there. Because outside the devatas are there, your hands and legs can function because there is an order there. There are laws of gravity, scientific laws, emotional laws, psychological laws, all that is there. Fine. Because of Devam. All these are responsible for action. Where is consciousness responsible for action? Kidhar aaya consciousness? Navadwares pure dehi sukamaste naiva kurvanna karyan. We have seen that earlier. In this 9-gated city called the body, I am sitting. I don't do, nor do I cause any action to happen. In my presence, all actions happen. Yeah. Therefore, that's it. Kidhar hai? Where are you responsible for any action? Therefore, what? Aham akarta abhokta chaitanya sarupoham. In a simpler way, in the beginning I have presented this as, are you not objectifying your actions? Are you not having a subject-object relationship with body, mind, etc.? Therefore, the I, the consciousness, is free from all actions. That's a simpler way of saying the same thing. But we are in the 18th chapter of the Gita, not in the 2nd chapter. Okay. Yeah. But basically, that's all there is there. Okay. That's it. Neither I do actions nor do I cause any action to happen. Action happens because of these 5 things. So by that, can you duck your responsibility in your action? If you know the truth, you can. I did not kill that guy. Killing happened. So the judge, if he is smart, he will say, we are not hanging you. We are not hanging. Hanging is happening to your body. That's it. String him up. And if you can say, I am not being na hanta na hanyate, if you can say that, I am not killed. It's okay. Then you are free. Then you can take that responsibility, not otherwise, okay? Yeah. Are you getting that whole idea? This is where the freedom from kartrutvam is. Why is it presented like that? Because kartrutvam means finitude. But the moment I say I am karta, I am the doer, then I have to receive the action. That presents my finitude. No? So many things. There is many a slip between the cup and the lip. So, you know the hassles of action. At the same time, without action you can't live your life. How do you live your life without doing anything? You can't be a simply sitting Swami somewhere. Yeah. Therefore you have to do. Yeah. And if you have to do, then responsibility, karma, karma phala, etc. comes in. Therefore this knowledge makes you what? Karmani akarmaya pashyet. 4th chapter, remember? In action, who sees inaction? Freedom from action. Akarmani karmayaha. Even in a simply sitting character, there is a lot of karma happening inside. Once you understand that, sa buddhiman manishyeshu. Because you have to understand, therefore, really speaking, aham akarta iti. Then what? Then you are free. Go have a cup of tea. Aur kya karne ka? What else is there to do? I am speaking literally also. Okay, 6:30 ho gaya, time to wind up. Good place to stop. Okay. Yeah. Good place to stop. Any questions? Or it's all clear? Or think it over and come back next class. Now, next class. Next Friday, I am off to the World Yoga Festival. Okay. So, for 2 classes, we won't have 2 classes. Okay. That means the class on 23rd and the class on 30th we won't have. I am back on first night, second morning, like that. Okay. So 2 classes will not be there. Yeah. 2 classes will not be there. Saturday, Sunday, both the weekend classes are off. Okay. So I will see you all after that. Think it over. There are any questions? Shoot. First I thought maybe because it's online, maybe I can take it from UK. But then I found some of the lectures, etc., timings will clash. Therefore, it will not be feasible that way. Okay. So I'll see you all after 2 weeks. Om Tat Sat.